Narrator Marcus Lane. Have you ever spent years chasing a dream no one else understood? A dream that seemed crazy to everyone except you. My name is Marcus Lane, and I'm about to tell you how my life's worker car I spent 18 years nearly lost, not to a thief, but to someone who sat across my dinner table. My mother-in-law. Stick around, because this story has everything: passion, betrayal, a $20 million twist, and a lesson about family I'll never forget. Beat, fade up music, then down. Part 1. The dream. 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Some guys want a mansion in the hills, a yacht in Miami, or a portfolio of stocks and bonds. Not me. My dream. It fit in a 2-car garage. It started with a magazine. I was on break at the auto shop, thumbing through a collector's mag, when I saw it buried in the classifieds like hidden treasure. 1963 Aurelio V12 Spider frame. Needs full restoration. Serious inquiries only. Most people would have kept flipping, but my heart stopped. The Aurelio V12 Spider is legendary. Only 3 exist in the world. 3 2-car guys. That's like finding the Holy Grail in someone's barn. The asking price was steep, but I didn't care. I scraped together every penny, sold off tools, skipped vacations, lived lean for years. Not because I was rich, because I was obsessed. Julia, my wife, thought I was nuts. I called her that night. Honey, I want to spend our vacation money on what's basically a pile of rust. She sighed but let me chase it. What followed was a bureaucratic nightmare. Import fees, customs paperwork, shipping a hat frame from Italy to our driveway. But when the truck finally arrived, I felt like a kid at Christmas. Julia just shook her head, arms crossed, already plotting out how long this mess would live in our garage. Part 2, 18 years, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 18 years. That's how long it took, not just to restore a car, but to turn it into a masterpiece. Every weekend, every spare dollar, every vacation day on, I scoured junkyards in Detroit, called collectors in Germany, even learned Italian just to read the original service manuals. If you've ever rebuilt something with your own hands, you get it. The click of a wrench, the smell of oil and old leather, the satisfaction of bringing the dead back to life, fits better than therapy. The Aurelio was my escape. Work was just a way to pay for parts. Julia eventually accepted it, even learned to love vintage Mustangs and car shows, but there was always someone who didn't get it. Part 3. Enter Bernice. 9 o'clock to 13 o'clock. Bernice. My emotional hurricane Bernice, as I called her, loud, opinionated, impossible to please. To her, a real man wore suits, went to Europe twice a year, and never got his hands dirty. My junk hobby. Proof I'd never be good enough for her daughter when she fell on hard times. Julia let her move in for a few months. That turned into 2 years. 2 years of criticism: my job, my car, even my coffee. Bernice treated our home like her kingdom, our marriage like an inconvenience. She hated that the garage was off limits, that I locked it every night. She had a habit of borrowing things, and I wasn't about to risk 18 years of work. Then, little things started happening. The spare key wasn't where I left it. Footprints in the dust near my workbench. What's that old car, Marcus? She'd ask. You spend so much time on it, must be worth something, right? Alarm bells. I started keeping inventory, moved the key, even set up a hidden security camera. Part 4. Disaster strikes. 13 o'clock to 17 o'clock. But I never saw what happened next coming. One day at work, pain hit me like a truck. An ulcer, the doctor said, probably strep. I collapsed, was rushed into surgery, and spent days floating in and out of consciousness. When I woke up in the hospital, Julia was at my side. But so was Bernice, dressed to the nines, practically glowing. Oh good, you're awake, she said, smiling wide. I have news that'll make you feel better. While you were in surgery, I solved our little space problem. I sold that old junk car taking up the garage. The silence was deafening. I felt like I'd been hit by another truck. But it got worse. 5 minutes later, my phone rang. It was Marlo, the car dealer. Ma'am, this car you sold us is worth over $10 million. I've already called the police. Turns out, the Aurelio was registered as a protected asset under federal law. You can't just sell it, not without a mountain of paperwork, my signature, and a biometric check. Bernice tried to talk her way out, but it was too late. The police and FBI arrived. She'd forged my signature, used whiteout on the title, and left a paper trail a mile wide. Julia sat there, stunned. Bernice tried to say it was just a misunderstanding, but she was arrested right there, in my hospital room. Part 5. Fallout and Revelation. 17 o'clock to 20 o'clock. Julia was shattered. She'd always tried to see the good in her mom, defend her even when it hurt. But now she saw who Bernice really was: a woman willing to destroy her own family for a quick buck. The news spread fast. Marlowe's Exotic Motors secured my car, called in experts, and confirmed what I already knew. This was automotive royalty. The restoration was flawless. The car was, in the words of the lead appraiser, a work of art. Bernice faced theft, auto, identity fraud, and federal violations. The prosecutors weren't sympathetic. She claimed it was all a big mistake. that she fixed up the signature because it was smudged. No one bought it. In the meantime, the insurance company covered our medical bills. But something unexpected happened. Word got out in the collector community. My Aurelio became famous. Museums called, documentary filmmakers wanted interviews, collectors offered ridiculous sums of money, but I never sold. The car wasn't about money. It was about pride, legacy, and a lesson that had taken me 18 years to learn. Part 6. Healing 20 o'clock to 24 o'clock. After Bernice's arrest, Julia broke down. She blamed herself for not seeing the signs. She'd spent years walking on eggshells, trying to make everyone happy, especially her mother. I told her what I wish someone had told me long ago. You can't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Julia decided to get therapy, to finally put our marriage first. We set boundaries. No more enabling. No more guilt. For the first time in years, our home felt peaceful. Bernice got 18 months community service and 5 years probation. She never apologized, not once. Even from jail, she tried to text Julia, begging her to fix it, blaming everyone but herself. Julia blocked her number. We moved on. Part 7. The turning point, 24 o'clock to 27 minutes and 0 seconds. But out of disaster came something beautiful. The Aurelio's story went viral in the collector world. I was invited to the Global Heritage Auto Show in Monaco, the event for classic cars. Julia and I flew to Monte Carlo, and for the first time she saw my dream through the eyes of the world. People whispered as we walked through the exhibition, "That's the guy whose mother-in-law tried to sell his car for cruise money." But I didn't care. Standing in front of my car, under museum lights, surrounded by people who understood what I'd built, I finally felt seen. A reporter asked, "What advice do you have for others with big dreams?" I thought about all those late nights, the setbacks, the doubts. Then I said, never let anyone else decide what your dream is worth. If you're willing to put in the work, no one's opinion matters but yours. Part 8. New beginnings, 27 minutes and 0 seconds to 29 minutes and 0 seconds after Monaco. Everything changed. Collectors asked me to restore their cars. I opened my own shop, Lane Heritage Mode, started teaching kids like Danny, a 17-year-old dropout who wanted to learn a real trade. The Aurelio sits in my garage, still covered by that custom tarp. But now, I take it out for Sunday drives with Julia. We've loaned it to museums, taken it to shows. Every time I turn the key and hear that V12 roar, I'm reminded that true value isn't measured in dollars, but in passion and perseverance. Out 29 minutes and 0 seconds to 30 minutes and 0 seconds, I look back and realize that Bernice, in her greed, gave me a gift. She forced Julia and me to confront the truth about family, loyalty, and the cost of enabling toxic people. Her betrayal opened doors I never could have imagined. So if you're listening, if you have a dream that everyone else calls crazy, if you're putting in the work and no one understands, keep going. Don't let anyone decide what your dream is worth. Because sometimes, the very thing people call junk becomes your greatest masterpiece. Fade out music, end screen.